Welcome to Aguilar Amplification. We're here with James Kim, who is the head of our assembly program here. He actually trains all the other assemblers. He has terrific coordination and knowledge about pickup assembly. And he's here to show us how he builds our new pickup, which is a humbucking jazz-based pickup with a split coil design. And he's going to demonstrate the meticulousness that goes into creating the bobbins using the materials. And I'm going to hand it over to James right now. So first thing, you're going to put the magnets, press them through the fiber, correct?
Yes. The first step we will do is to put the fibers, flatware, into the fixture. But first we must check that the fibers are straight. A slight curve can you can either try to bend them, but it can result in a failure or passing. Okay. So once it's in the fixture, we will put it into another fixture. Like so. And then insert the pins. This also we must inspect for any dents or any sorry.
Any kind of anomalies?
Yeah, just like that. So
So you can see what James is doing is, right from the very start, there's a standard for how the pickup should look. And you know, in something like this, the pickup probably would work with some anomalies, but the question of how many anomalies to accept, how many defects. At Aguilar, we go for 0 anomalies. We go for 0 defects. We want to have a completely straight and accurate bobbin to wind the wire on. And in that way, we know that we're going to get the most consistent pickup and problem-free.
So once all the pins are in, we will put the top part of the fiber into another fixture. Once again, we must check to see the curve, make it straight, and brush away any debris from the previous pressing.
The key to this fixture is that by pushing all the magnets through at once, it doesn't distort the fiber from the pressure of the magnet going through. Plus we get a great tight fit that's perfectly tight without using any glue divots. Sometimes you'll see a pickup that has glue divots, not from us, but perhaps from another manufacturer, and it's because the hole is really too big and you don't want the magnets to fall out.
Okay, so after that, we'll place the fixture on top. Make sure the pins are aligned to the fiber. Okay. And then it will go on a pressing machine. And as simple as that, it's pressed. After that, we would inspect that the pins have went through fully.
And the reason why this looks like 2 halves of a jazz-based pickup, these are the 2 split coils that will be attached to another piece of fiber to create a hum-canceling jazz-based pickup. What's the next step, James?
So the next step is we are going to glue the poles to the fibers so that they don't budge or move during the winding process. So we're going to take the glue here. We're going to apply them in between the poles. So once we glue them, we have to let them dry for a few hours. So we're just gonna place them right here, let them dry. Right now we don't have a fiber ready to be bond for the split coil.
Okay.
Because after it has to dry from.
It has to dry for a few, well, we don't have a few hours, so do we have another pickup we can wind?
Yes, we have a
All
4J
right.
neck bobbin.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
This is like a cooking show where things have to be prepared and then set aside.
So here's a 4J neck bobbin that's already been prepared. That's been taped and the eyelet's been pressed. So let's go ahead and wind that. Okay. So onto the winding machine. So we're going to wind a 4J 60s neck bobbin. So we have to change the fixture that holds the bobbin here. So I'm going to take this out and insert the appropriate fixture. BG 4J neck. So once that's on, we have the correct wire, 60s wire. So we're going to put the bobbin on.
All these plastic fixtures you see were made here. Part of winding a pickup consistently and accurately is creating fixtures that don't deteriorate over time. Maintain their shape and their structure. Of course, nothing lasts forever, but good and accurate fixtures are really, really important.
So once it's tightly onto the fixture, close this and start winding. And we're going to side stop reset to check to see that the wires are not on the fiber and see if it's winding correctly. So far it is winding correctly, so we're going to let it continue. And approximately it takes about 6 minutes for it to complete the winding process.
Okay, so the pickup is now fully wound. I want to clarify one thing. James was talking about putting glue divots on the split coil and P-base pickups to me. We don't put glue divots on the jazz-based pickups, but on these we actually put a little bit of glue on the inside so that the fiber doesn't torque and loosen the magnet during the winding process, because the fiber is so much wider. It has the potential to torque, and we don't want to have a loose magnet.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a clarification so that we're not contradicting each other. James, why don't you proceed?
Okay, so after completion, we inspect the wires again to see that they're not caught on the fiber pieces. And this one seems good. Okay. So after that, we're going to loop the wire around the eyelet. Very tricky part.
The wire is hair thin, so it may look like he's just messing around with his hands there and not doing anything. But he does in fact have a wire in his hand. A lot of people don't realize how small a pickup wire actually is.
Okay, so after we loop it twice, we're going to place it onto this fixture here, and it'll be ready for soldering. So, I'm not sure if a diagram will help. Since this is a neck, it's going to be wired like so. So we're going to take the black wire first. We're going to bend them to that shape. And the yellow wire. Okay. First, let's start with the black wire. So we're going to go into this rectangular hole, then up into the eyelet. Okay, and then we're going to solder it now. And during this process, we have to be extremely careful so that we don't put the iron on too long, that it'll burn the fiber or the wire. So we disconnect the wire and cut off the excess lead. And that is the first part of soldering. Then we're going to move to the yellow wire. So, same as before, I'm going to loop the wire into the eyelet. And repeat the same process for the yellow wire. So once the solder's cooled off, I'm going to cut the lead. Then we're going to bring it over to this table and test with the meter.
So at this point, you're testing for continuity in the wiring, correct, James?
Yeah, to see if it's been soldered and it's making a good connection. And it is getting a reading, 7.9. So the soldering is complete. So after that, we're going to place it into this container. This is before it goes into the wax pot.
Okay. Is there a purpose to that particular container?
Yes, it's to prevent the fiber from bending from the humidity or dryness from the room. It's to control, I guess, the atmosphere.
Nice.
So we're going to place it until it's ready to get put into the crock pot.
We use a temperature controlled crock pot, apparently very good for fried mushrooms, but we haven't tried that in particular. The key to potting the pickups is controlling the temperature, because the more viscous it is, the more it's going to permeate to the core of the pickup, and it's going to permeate through the windings. So it's a slight upgrade to the normal glue pot that a lot of manufacturers use that keep the wax at an approximate temperature. Here we can actually control it. Is there anything you'd like to say about the potting procedure? I don't think we're going to actually pot a pickup.
No, because the whole potting process takes about 45 minutes, and then we take it out, dry it off, and that whole process we have to wait another 45 minutes for it to cool
Right.
down.
And after it's cooled down, the last part is magnetizing the pickup?
It gets magnetized and it gets packed.
Okay, so the last step in the pickup manufacturing process is to go over this small and mighty machine. We call it the magnetizer. And James, how long does the pickup get magnetized for?
The pickups get magnetized for 2 seconds. We give it 2 quick bursts of 1 second each, and that'll be enough to get it magnetized.
Great. And that is the Aguilar manufacturing process with James Kim, making, well, we looked at winding a jazz bass neck pickup, and we constructed the bobbin for the new jazz bass hum canceling split coil pickup. So we hope you enjoyed it.